We love a good blanket in South Africa. And I read an interesting thing. It's hard to know because obviously UK horses are like UK people and they're used to different climate conditions. But saying that a horse's ideal external temperature is between like 8 and 10 degrees. That's
Horses love the cold.
okay.
They do.
We feel bad.
We feel bad. But I mean, you've got a daughter.
No,
so
yeah, she
what?
runs around
when
in a
you're
t-shirt.
cold, darling, come and put a jersey on. What does she say? I'm not cold.
Leave me
Okay,
alone.
so we need to not measure our horse's temperature by ours. They really like the cold. I mean, all the research done on laminitis was done on those horses in Iceland. So they were standing in snow for days on end. Our guys would love us. The machine stopped working. The batteries on the phone stopped. Everything else wouldn't work because it was so cold. The horses were chomping away and they were quite happy.
That's really interesting. I suppose it's also because of the blood supply and the
supply
legs
and their
and
feet
everything.
and all that. Yeah, and I mean, in England, when I was working there, often they'd have snow on their backs and they'd be digging through the snow to find the grass, and they were quite happy. I was like, I wasn't happy. They were happy. So I think we do. We over-rug our horses. We don't need to worry about them. The reason, if you rug them lots, they're going to grow less coats. But I don't know how many of you notice that they start growing their coats when the day length changes.
Yes, and I believe that's quite a
why.
pivotal
It's
thing in the thoroughbred
it's the light.
breeding is
Yes.
they'll
They
introduce
put
light
lights into their
earlier.
paddocks to try and get them to cycle.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's all to do with the light, the pineal gland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So cycling actually is proportional to light.
They're such basic. Like we can just short circuit their brain quickly with a light bulb. You know.
Except we can't teach them to stop panicking and hurting themselves.
No. That would be. Let's not be ridiculous. You know. My next step. So I think like a good key for blanketing would be to have an external temperature gauge because. You know, the next thing is you say also we're only going to rug at 8 p.m. and then one day it does snow in Joburg and the horses are outside.
Yeah, like tonight, I'd understand that you would rug earlier. But for them, I mean, I was watching the ones in the clinic. What you can also do is you'll notice horses' coats standing up when they start getting cold or they lie flat when they're warm. So there are two things there. A sick horse will always have its coat up.
Okay, that's interesting.
When they're starting to get better, they go down and shine. And I mean, I look at that when they're in the hospital.
And
I can
that's
go
a
in
general
and go,
wellness
you're feeling
indicator.
better today.
Oh, that's cute.
You know, because their coats lie. But the same with cold. They'll stand their coats up because that's how, well, when you get goosebumps, you stand your hair up. That's actually what you're trying to do is make yourself warmer.